we tend to get most legalistic, rule-based, controlling in an effort to what we think is lovingly protect the people we care about the most. Right? You experience some pain, some hurt, some trauma, some loss. You don't want that to happen. So you think, well, somebody needs to be in control, and rather than God, you nominate yourself. And there needs to be some rules, and rather than God, you make your own. And there needs to be someone who is in authority, and rather than God, you nominate yourself. And the motive is, I love them, and I'm trying to protect them. But ultimately, then you become the one who harms them. This happens with people we love the most, like a church. People that have been through church hurt. And oftentimes the people who hurt you in church, they're religious people. They have some own trauma or abuse or pain in their past, and they've not healed from it, and so then they treat you in a way that is unhealthy. And what can even happen in a church is that over time, hurt people that are fearful and not healed up, they just keep adding more rules until it literally turns it into a prison. I talked to a pastor, he said, show me your policies, I'll show you your pains. Something bad happened in the church, let's make a policy, a rule, a law, so it never happens again. Well, the more pain, the more policies, the more years, the bigger the manual. The secular version of this is called an HOA. How many of you have been in a homeowners association? And at first, it starts off with a few things you can agree to. You cannot turn your house into a meth lab. That's a good idea. I don't want to be in Breaking Bad. I don't want those neighbors. You cannot park a broken down RV in your front yard and protect it with pit bulls. Check, I'm in, right? You cannot paint your house purple. You're like, I don't want to live next to Barney's family. I agree with that. And then what happens is things happen, and then new people join the HOA board, and for everything that happened, they make a new rule, and by the end, you hate living there. Because if you breathe or park your car or pretend like you're going to do anything, then the Pharisees come over with a clipboard and fine you. And the same can happen in a church. So let's talk about what you care about the most, your family. The most intense religious legalisms come in regards to our family and our children, right? And here's the way it works. Trauma, pain, hurt, grief, regret. I don't want the people I love to experience this. Therefore, I am going to create a very small, controlled, rule-based, legalistic, religious environment so that they are not in harm's way. And the truth is, you are the one who harms them. When a child is 6 months old, can you hurt them by squeezing too tight? The principle is also true when they're 16. Ultimately, this leads to inner vows. Pain happened. I'm going to make some inner vows to me, not to God. And then I want to make some outer rules to protect you. But ultimately, I'm the one who harms you. This is why the most religious households tend to produce the most rebellious kids. Okay? Because it's hard to rebel against a loving relationship. It's very easy to rebel against some real legalistic rules. That's why at our church I say we don't do membership, we do relationship. People come in, they're like, where do I need to sign? We don't have a contract for you. You know what? I got 5 kids and 0 contracts. If you want to have a family, you better have some relationships. And if you want to ruin those relationships, start getting the lawyers involved. Okay? I don't have a contract for my kids. We're all going to get together for dinner tonight, not because they signed a contract, but because we have a relationship. I believe people will do more for love than they will for fear or punishment. I believe that a loving environment brings out the best in people, and a religious environment brings out the worst in people. So I was watching a show. I'll give you an example. It was during the lockdown. We weren't allowed to leave home, which was awesome. I miss those days. Those were so great. So we're flipping through Netflix, angry at the neighbors because they're using all the bandwidth for the internet. You guys know what it was like. It was awesome. And there was this documentary series on this family that lived in a city, had a bunch of kids. They were Christian, and they moved far outside of the city. They bought huge acreage. They have no neighbors, can't see anything. They have no internet. They have no television. They have no cell phone. They are schooled at home, church at home, high control. They're actually a sweet family. They're nice people. They seem to love Jesus. Lots of rules. Lots of rules. And so the mom and dad decided they were going to do an overnight to go celebrate their anniversary. They pull all the kids together. Many of them are now older. What do you think they gave them? A list of rules. Can't do this, 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 can't do this. Here's what the kids do. They're all covert, not overt. Yes, mom and dad. Their mom and dad get in the car, hit the end of the driveway. Here's the kids. Woo! All right, get the list. All right, we can't leave the property. Everybody, let's go. Says we can't wear makeup, ladies. Let's get some makeup on. Says we can't wear short skirts. Let's get our old skirts and cut them. Right? So now everybody's in rebellion. They're going to go through the list as quickly as possible. They all got in the car and they drove away as fast as possible. And they went bowling. Because that was one of the things on the list. And when they were bowling, they drank pop, which was another thing on the list. And they met friends there without parental supervision. Just look at this demonic trinity. Bowling, people, and pop. They're all going to be pregnant. We just know it. Even the boys. This is inevitable. And I was watching it with the kids, and my kids were like, what? Because we had 3 rules. Be safe, have fun, and love each other. Be safe, because boys are always trying to kill themselves. Little boys are suicidal. They just are. Be safe. Because if you have a ladder and a knife, that's the first 2 things the boy is going to want to play with. A knife, I'm going up the ladder. No, don't. Okay, be safe, have fun, because I believe the point of the yard is to play in the yard. And love each other, so we're all having a good time. So one of my kids looked at me, they're like, Dad, why do they have so many rules? I said, I don't know. Probably some hurt, some pain. The parents come back, they interview the mom, and she said, I grew up in a very bad home, very abusive, a lot of pain, horrible things happened to me as a child, and I really love my kids, and I don't want those things to happen to them. And she said, when the kids were little, we were home, and one of the little kids was behind the car, and I didn't see them, and I was backing out of the driveway, and I ran over and killed her own child. Okay. Now I have a lot of compassion for this woman. She's been through just tremendous pain and deep trauma, but she's not healed up. And until she's healed up, she's going to be very religious, and then her kids are going to be what? Very rebellious. And what she needs is a relationship with the Holy Spirit to heal her up. And then she needs to teach her kids how to have a relationship with the Holy Spirit so that he can lead and guide them. Some of you are like, but somebody needs to control my kids. His name is the Holy Spirit. But somebody needs to teach my kids. His name is the Holy Spirit. Well, somebody needs to convict my kids. His name is the Holy Spirit. And you're a child of God. You need him too. So what Paul says, that it's a matter of the Spirit by the heart. The Holy Spirit wants to give you a new heart. And the Holy Spirit wants to lead you and guide you and instruct you and protect you and direct you. And when you mess up, he's going to forgive you. And what the Holy Spirit does, he changes you at the level of being and desire. And he gives you new desires. Thanks for joining me. My name is Pastor Mark. I've been teaching the Bible for more than 3 decades and head on constant collisions with woke culture. And I would love to get you more Bible teaching. 2 things you can do. Go ahead and watch the sermon in total and also subscribe to the channel. And I'll just keep sending you Bible teaching and we'll have a lot more fun together.